Most people over 40 don't realize they might be walking around with a silent deficiency that could be impacting their energy, mood, immunity, and even long-term health. You wake up tired even after a full night's sleep. Your joints ache more than they used to. Some days feel heavier for no obvious reason, and it's easy to blame it all on age, stress, or just getting older. But what if all of this is actually connected to a single missing vitamin? Doctors and researchers across the world are increasingly pointing to one key nutrient that almost everyone over 40 is lacking: vitamin D. It's not just a sunshine vitamin anymore. It plays a central role in dozens of biological processes. Yet despite how important it is, it's often overlooked until real damage is already underway. In today's video, we're going to explore exactly why vitamin D is the #1 vitamin doctors say you need after 40. We'll dive deep into the symptoms of deficiency that most people ignore. We'll talk about how you can get tested, why food and sun exposure alone may not be enough, and how to choose the best supplement if you need one. If you've been feeling run down, emotionally flat, or just not quite yourself, this might be the missing link. This video is especially for you if you've ever told yourself, "I'm doing everything right, but I still feel off." Because sometimes the problem isn't effort, it's awareness. And once you understand how vitamin D works in your body, you'll see why even a small change can lead to big improvements in how you feel every day. After the age of 40, the human body starts to go through subtle but significant changes. One of the most overlooked changes is how efficiently we produce and use certain essential nutrients, and vitamin D is at the top of that list. You may assume that spending some time in the sun or eating a decent diet is enough to keep your levels where they should be, but the reality is far more complex. Vitamin D isn't just a nice-to-have vitamin. It's a hormone-like compound that influences everything from your bones to your brain. It plays a critical role in regulating calcium, supporting immune function, reducing inflammation, and even helping to stabilize mood. But as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sunlight. We also tend to spend less time outdoors, wear more sun protection, and even develop digestive or metabolic issues that interfere with how we absorb and store this nutrient. For people over 40, this creates the perfect storm for a silent deficiency. And unlike other vitamins, where you might feel the effects quickly, vitamin D deficiency creeps in slowly. You might start experiencing mild joint discomfort, a drop in energy, or just more frequent colds and infections. Over time, these small changes can snowball into bigger problems: brittle bones, hormonal imbalance, a weakened immune system, or even chronic fatigue and depression. The reason doctors emphasize vitamin D so strongly for people in this age group is because it's foundational to staying functional and resilient. When your levels are low, everything feels a little harder, physically and mentally. You recover more slowly from workouts, your mood dips more often, and your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to. It's not just about avoiding disease. It's about maintaining quality of life. Vitamin D helps protect against the natural wear and tear of aging by keeping your systems running smoothly in the background. It supports your bones, brain, muscles, and immune system, the very parts of the body that start to show signs of stress after 40. And yet, the vast majority of adults have no idea their levels are even low. That's why understanding the role of vitamin D in this stage of life is not just helpful, it's essential. Because once you recognize how this single nutrient supports nearly every part of your body, you'll realize it's one of the simplest and most powerful things you can take control of as you age. Vitamin D deficiency is often called the invisible illness, not because it's rare, but because its symptoms are so easy to dismiss. Millions of people over 40 are walking around with dangerously low levels and have no idea. The signs are subtle at first: a little more tired than usual, a little more sore, a little more down emotionally. But over time, these little signals build up, and suddenly you're living in a body that feels older, heavier, and slower, without knowing why. One of the most common symptoms of vitamin D deficiency is chronic fatigue. You might sleep through the night and still wake up feeling drained, as if you never truly rested. There's also a general sense of sluggishness, not just physical, but mental. Brain fog, forgetfulness, and low motivation often creep in quietly. For many people, this gets chalked up to stress or aging, when in fact it could be a straightforward nutritional issue. Another red flag is frequent illness. Vitamin D plays a central role in immune system regulation. When your levels are too low, your body becomes more vulnerable to colds, flu, and other infections. If you notice you're getting sick more often, or it takes longer to recover than it used to, your immune system might be underperforming due to a lack of vitamin D. Muscle weakness and joint pain are also key indicators. Vitamin D helps regulate calcium and phosphorus levels, which are essential for maintaining muscle strength and healthy bones. Low levels can lead to aches, stiffness, or a sense that your body isn't moving like it used to. In extreme cases, deficiency can even cause osteomalacia, a condition where bones become soft and brittle. Mood changes are another major warning sign. Vitamin D affects neurotransmitters like serotonin, which help regulate mood and emotional stability. People with low vitamin D levels are more likely to experience anxiety, irritability, and depression, especially in colder months or regions with less sunlight. That's why it's often linked with seasonal affective disorder, SAD. Even slow wound healing, gum issues, and hair thinning can point toward a deficiency. These are all signs that your body's repair systems aren't working at full capacity and that something deeper might be missing. The challenge is that none of these symptoms scream vitamin D deficiency on their own. They're quiet, cumulative, and easy to ignore until they start interfering with your life. That's why awareness is crucial. Knowing the signs means you can take action early before things escalate. If you're experiencing a mix of these symptoms and can't find a clear explanation, it may be time to consider what your body is missing. Because sometimes the answer isn't more caffeine, more rest, or more willpower. It's more of what your body was designed to thrive on. And vitamin D might be exactly that missing link. Vitamin D deficiency isn't just about feeling tired or achy in the short term. It can have serious, long-lasting effects on your health if left unaddressed. While mild symptoms might seem manageable, the hidden dangers of prolonged deficiency are far more concerning and can lead to chronic diseases that dramatically impact quality of life. One of the most well-known risks is osteoporosis. Vitamin D is essential for calcium absorption, which keeps bones strong and dense. Without enough vitamin D, bones become thin and brittle, increasing the risk of fractures, especially in older adults. This makes everyday activities like walking or climbing stairs more dangerous and painful. Beyond bones, vitamin D deficiency has been linked to cardiovascular disease. Research suggests that low levels may contribute to high blood pressure, inflammation, and arterial stiffness, all of which increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Since heart disease is a leading cause of death worldwide, maintaining adequate vitamin D levels is a simple step toward protecting your heart health. There is also growing evidence connecting vitamin D deficiency with an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Vitamin D influences insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, so insufficient levels can make it harder to regulate blood sugar. This adds another layer of risk for people over 40, as insulin resistance tends to rise with age. Autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus have been associated with low vitamin D status. Vitamin D helps regulate the immune system to prevent it from attacking the body's own tissues. Deficiency can upset this balance, increasing vulnerability to these chronic conditions. Some studies even suggest that low vitamin D levels may increase the risk of certain cancers, including breast, prostate, and colon cancer. While research is ongoing, the protective effects of vitamin D on cell growth and repair make maintaining optimal levels an important part of overall cancer prevention strategies. Finally, chronic vitamin D deficiency has been linked to depression and cognitive decline. Since vitamin D affects brain chemistry and inflammation, low levels may contribute to mood disorders and even increase the risk of dementia. The takeaway is clear. Vitamin D is far more than just a vitamin. It's a cornerstone of long-term health. Ignoring a deficiency is not just risking fatigue or aches, but opening the door to serious, life-altering diseases. This makes awareness and early intervention critical for anyone over 40 who wants to age well and maintain their quality of life. Many people assume they can tell whether their vitamin D levels are adequate simply based on how they feel or the amount of sun exposure they get. But the truth is, the only reliable way to know for sure if you are deficient is through a blood test. The standard test doctors use to measure vitamin D status is called the 25-hydroxyvitamin D test, often abbreviated as 25 open parenthesis, O close parenthesis D. This test measures the level of circulating vitamin D in your blood, giving a clear picture of whether your levels are deficient, insufficient, or within the optimal range. Generally, levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter (ng/ml) are considered deficient, while 20 to 30 ng/ml is insufficient, and anything above 30 ng/ml is considered sufficient for most adults. Some experts even suggest aiming for a higher range around 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter for optimal health, especially after age 40. Getting tested is straightforward and can be done through your primary care physician or at many labs without a doctor's referral in some regions. It's a simple blood draw, but provides valuable insight that symptoms alone cannot. Testing is especially important if you have risk factors such as limited sun exposure, darker skin, obesity, or certain medical conditions that affect absorption. It's also important to know that vitamin D levels can fluctuate with the seasons, often dropping during winter months when sunlight exposure is limited. This makes periodic testing useful to adjust supplementation or lifestyle accordingly. Self-diagnosing or guessing your vitamin D status can lead to problems. Taking too little might leave you deficient, while taking too much can cause toxicity, leading to symptoms like nausea, kidney problems, and calcium buildup in the blood. This is why testing is the key first step before starting any supplementation regimen. In short, if you are over 40 and suspect you might be low in vitamin D, the smartest move is to get tested. It's a simple, accurate way to understand your needs and take control of your health with precision rather than guesswork. Vitamin D comes from two main sources, sunlight and food. Both play vital roles in maintaining healthy levels, but each has its limitations, especially as we get older. Sunlight is the most natural and efficient way for your body to produce vitamin D. When ultraviolet B, UVB rays from the sun hit your skin, they trigger a chemical reaction that generates vitamin D3. However, getting enough sun exposure isn't always as simple as stepping outside. Factors like living in northern latitudes, wearing sunscreen, spending most of your day indoors, or having darker skin can all reduce the amount of vitamin D your body can make. Additionally, as we age, our skin's ability to synthesize vitamin D decreases significantly. This means that even if you spend time outside, you may not be producing enough. When it comes to diet, only a handful of foods naturally contain significant amounts of vitamin D. Fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines, are among the best sources. Egg yolks and certain types of mushrooms also provide some vitamin D. Many dairy products and plant-based milk alternatives are fortified with vitamin D to help boost intake. However, it's rare to get enough vitamin D from food alone, especially without regular fish consumption. Because of these challenges, relying solely on sunlight and diet may not be enough to maintain optimal vitamin D levels, particularly after age 40. This is why supplementation often becomes necessary. In summary, while sun and food are essential parts of the equation, understanding their limitations is key. Knowing how much sun exposure is safe and effective and incorporating vitamin D-rich foods into your diet can help. But most adults over 40 will benefit from additional supplementation to meet their needs. As important as natural sources are, many people over 40 will need to consider supplements to maintain healthy vitamin D levels. This is especially true if testing shows a deficiency or if lifestyle factors limit sun exposure and dietary intake. When choosing a supplement, it's important to know that vitamin D comes in two forms: D2, ergocalciferol, and D3, cholecalciferol. Vitamin D3 is the preferred form because it is more effective at raising and maintaining blood levels of vitamin D. It is the same type your body produces naturally when exposed to sunlight. The ideal dosage depends on your current vitamin D levels, your age, weight, and any underlying health conditions. Typical maintenance doses range from 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily. But for those with a deficiency, doctors might recommend higher doses for a short period to bring levels up quickly. Always consult a healthcare professional before starting supplements, especially if you have health conditions or take other medications. It's also beneficial to take vitamin D with vitamin K2. While vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, vitamin K2 directs that calcium to the bones and teeth where it's needed, preventing calcium buildup in arteries and soft tissues. Supplements come in various forms: capsules, tablets, liquids, and even sprays. The choice often depends on personal preference and ease of use, but the most important factor is consistent daily intake. Be cautious not to exceed recommended doses without medical supervision, as excessive vitamin D can lead to toxicity symptoms such as nausea, weakness, and kidney problems. Supplementation is a powerful tool for restoring and maintaining optimal vitamin D levels, especially after 40, when natural sources may not be enough. Choosing the right form, dose, and combination with other nutrients can maximize the benefits and support your overall health. Certain groups of people need to be especially vigilant about their vitamin D levels because they are at higher risk of deficiency, even if they try to get enough sun and eat well. Understanding who these individuals are can help prevent health issues before they start. People with darker skin produce less vitamin D from sunlight because higher melanin levels block some of the UVB rays needed for vitamin D synthesis. This means that individuals with naturally darker skin tones need longer sun exposure to make the same amount of vitamin D as those with lighter skin. Those who wear full body coverings for cultural or religious reasons also face a higher risk since their skin is rarely exposed to sunlight. Similarly, people who work night shifts or spend most of their time indoors, such as office workers or those living in urban environments with limited outdoor access, often do not get enough sun exposure. Older adults, especially those over 70, have an even harder time producing vitamin D naturally due to age-related changes in skin and kidney function. Their bodies become less efficient at converting vitamin D into its active form, increasing their need for supplementation. Individuals with certain medical conditions that affect nutrient absorption, such as celiac disease, Crohn's disease, or obesity, may also struggle to maintain adequate vitamin D levels. These conditions can interfere with the body's ability to absorb or store vitamin D properly. Being aware of these risk factors means these groups should prioritize testing and supplementation as part of their health routine. For everyone else, understanding these risks can also serve as a reminder to pay closer attention to vitamin D, especially after age 40. To maintain optimal well-being. Many people wonder how long it takes to see real improvements after starting vitamin D supplementation, especially when they've been dealing with symptoms for months or even years. While the timeline can vary depending on the severity of deficiency and individual factors, most people begin to notice positive changes within a few weeks to a few months. In the first few weeks, some people report increased energy levels, better mood, and reduced feelings of fatigue. This happens because vitamin D supports neurotransmitter function and overall brain health, helping to lift the fog and improve mental clarity. Others notice a decrease in the frequency of colds or infections as their immune system strengthens. Physical improvements such as reduced joint pain, stronger muscles, and less stiffness may take a bit longer, often around 6 to 12 weeks. This is because rebuilding bone density and improving muscle function requires time and consistent vitamin D availability. However, the gradual reduction of aches and improvement in mobility can be very encouraging and motivate people to stick with their supplementation. For those with very low initial levels, doctors often recommend a higher dose regimen at the beginning to more quickly restore optimal levels. After the initial phase, a maintenance dose helps keep vitamin D in the healthy range. It's important to remember that vitamin D supplementation is just one piece of a larger health puzzle. Pairing it with a balanced diet, regular physical activity, and safe sun exposure will maximize benefits. If you don't notice improvements after a few months or if symptoms worsen, it's essential to follow up with your healthcare provider. They may need to adjust your dose or investigate other underlying causes. Patience and consistency are key. With the right approach, vitamin D supplementation can lead to meaningful, lasting improvements in how you feel and function, especially after 40. Maintaining optimal vitamin D levels is a lifelong commitment, especially as we age. Once you've corrected a deficiency, it's important to continue monitoring and managing your vitamin D status to support ongoing health and prevent future problems. Regular testing is recommended, typically once or twice a year, depending on your risk factors and lifestyle. This helps ensure your levels stay within the optimal range and allows for timely adjustments to your supplementation or habits. Testing is especially important after seasonal changes when sun exposure varies. Alongside testing, continue to balance safe sun exposure with protective measures. Aim for moderate daily sunlight, about 10 to 30 minutes several times a week, on uncovered skin, but avoid sunburn. Incorporate vitamin D-rich foods into your diet regularly, such as fatty fish, fortified dairy or plant-based milks, and egg yolks. If you rely on supplements, take them consistently as recommended by your healthcare provider. Keep in mind that vitamin D works best alongside other nutrients like calcium and vitamin K2, so maintaining a balanced diet supports overall effectiveness. Also, stay aware of lifestyle changes that can affect your vitamin D levels. Changes in work schedules, travel to different climates, or health conditions may require reevaluation of your supplementation plan. By making vitamin D maintenance a routine part of your health strategy after 40, you're investing in stronger bones, a more resilient immune system, better mood, and overall vitality that helps you thrive as you age. Remember, taking care of your vitamin D levels is not just about avoiding illness. It's about enhancing your quality of life every single day. Vitamin D is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to healthy aging, but it interacts closely with many other vitamins, minerals, and lifestyle factors to support overall well-being. Understanding how these elements work together can help you create a more comprehensive approach to staying healthy after 40. Calcium is often mentioned alongside vitamin D because these two nutrients work hand in hand. Vitamin D improves calcium absorption in the gut, which is essential for maintaining strong bones and preventing osteoporosis. Without enough vitamin D, calcium simply passes through the body unused. Ensuring adequate calcium intake through dairy, leafy greens, or supplements complements your vitamin D efforts. Magnesium is another important mineral that supports vitamin D metabolism. It helps convert vitamin D into its active form, so low magnesium levels can limit how effectively vitamin D works. Foods rich in magnesium include nuts, seeds, whole grains, and leafy greens. Vitamin K2 also plays a crucial role by directing calcium to the bones and teeth, preventing it from accumulating in arteries and soft tissues. This partnership between vitamin D and K2 supports both bone health and cardiovascular health. Beyond nutrients, lifestyle factors such as regular exercise, maintaining a healthy weight, avoiding smoking, and managing stress all influence how well your body uses vitamin D and maintains bone and immune health. Lastly, adequate sleep and a balanced diet rich in antioxidants support your body's natural repair processes, complementing the benefits of vitamin D. By thinking beyond just a single vitamin and focusing on a holistic approach, you create a strong foundation for healthy aging and vitality well beyond 40. This integrated strategy ensures that vitamin D can do its job effectively within the bigger picture of your health. Vitamin D deficiency remains a widespread and often overlooked health issue worldwide, affecting people across all age groups, but especially those over 40. Despite the availability of supplements and awareness campaigns, many individuals remain unaware of their vitamin D status or the importance of maintaining optimal levels. This widespread deficiency has significant public health implications. It contributes to the rising burden of chronic diseases such as osteoporosis, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. These conditions not only reduce quality of life, but also increase healthcare costs and strain medical resources globally. Public health initiatives aimed at increasing awareness, improving access to testing, and promoting safe sun exposure and supplementation can make a substantial difference. Encouraging healthcare providers to routinely screen at-risk populations and educate patients is crucial in tackling this silent epidemic. Moreover, fortifying common foods with vitamin D, especially in regions with limited sunlight, has proven to be an effective strategy to reduce deficiency rates on a population level. As individuals understanding the importance of vitamin D and taking proactive steps, whether through diet, lifestyle, or supplementation, empowers us to protect our health long term. Addressing vitamin D deficiency is not just a personal health issue. It's a critical public health priority that can help reduce the burden of chronic illness and improve quality of life for millions worldwide, especially as we age. In conclusion, vitamin D is a vital nutrient that plays a crucial role in maintaining health, especially for those over 40. From supporting strong bones and muscles to regulating the immune system and influencing mood, its impact is wide-ranging and profound. Unfortunately, vitamin D deficiency is common and often goes unnoticed due to subtle symptoms and lifestyle challenges. The good news is that with proper awareness, testing, and the right combination of sun exposure, diet, and supplementation, you can easily maintain optimal vitamin D levels. This proactive approach not only helps prevent serious health issues like osteoporosis, heart disease, and diabetes, but also enhances your overall energy, mental clarity, and quality of life. Remember, aging doesn't have to mean declining health. By prioritizing vitamin D and other key nutrients, you can support your body's resilience and vitality well into your later years. If you're over 40, consider getting tested and speaking with your healthcare provider about your vitamin D needs. Taking charge today is a simple yet powerful step toward a healthier, stronger tomorrow. Your body will thank you for it.